Hey friends, so it's Adam here, back from Medicine Festival 2024, and I've got this commitment now to just really share, just be totally unfiltered and uncensored in expressing my values and what I care about through into the public realm. So here's a little thing that's come from me from Medicine Festival. I had the juxtaposition of going to this festival celebrating indigenousness and the commonality of everyone, our shared family with all cultures and all traditions. And then I came home and I saw the end of a film my housemate was watching, which was about the oppression of kind of Native American folk by the white colonial settlers there. It was a really interesting synchronicitous combination. So here are my thoughts coming out from this. One of the speakers at Medicine Festival, he gave this example. He said that rats or mice being genetically experimented on to determine about epigenetics and how ancestral trauma is carried down. There were these rats that were subject to a scary experience, and at the same time they were given a smell that was associated with it. And then later generations of mice who had not had that experience, they were given the smell, and those who were the ancestors of the ones who'd had the bad smell linked to the suffering, they had their fear response come up, they had their trauma activated, even though those mice themselves had never had that experience directly. It's, if you like, a scientific study which has its relevance and also has its, so-so-ness, but ancestral trauma is real. Why am I saying this? Because I, in my 32 years of life, haven't knowingly oppressed any Native American people or kind of indigenous people in other cultures. And yet I'm aware that it's in the field, that when I meet a native person, that they may not directly have been oppressed either, but however many generations back, that oppression has happened, and it may still be in their system, it may still be in my system, in the same way that I think that war traumas and all sorts of intergenerational traumas live on. So I'm saying that the intergenerational, the legacy of colonialism and the trauma built into it may not be a feature of our lives directly, and yet it's in the field. I say it's probably in the field, held in our collective traumas. So it's kind of impersonal and personal at the same time. I'm sharing this with you because I've been chewing on this topic for a whole while, about how do I relate to this topic in a way that isn't making me the fall guy for something that I'm not connected to, and at the same time is having me step in and take responsibility for, in some way for this. That's what I wanted to say. And then there was also a little caveat. I know that there are these, basically what I have to say is this: I think it's colonial to try and imply or force anyone to have the same view as us. And so I just wanted to caveat this with, if you don't want to believe this, great, don't believe it. I'm not trying to make you or anyone else think in this particular way. I'm just sharing it and offering it. And I want you and everyone else to know and feel in these kind of debates and conversations that we're all just as welcome in the space, whether or not we share the same ideology. Yeah, so this was a little caveat. Ironically, if I implied, only if you think the same way as me are you welcome here, or do you have the same rights here? Even if I'm advocating like an anti-colonial or post-colonial ideology, right? If I'm coming at it with that sort of logic of the exclusivity of you have to share the ideology in order to be welcome, well, my mode would then be colonial, even if my message was anti-colonial, and there's a double standard in that. I think that's also worth mentioning, because I think when activities come across in that direction, that's when people brand them as woke. Cool. That's all I wanted to say. recovering from the festival, pretty tired, blessed to be by the river, blessed to be in this gorgeous town of Totnes, feeling really grateful. A blessing on everyone who was at the festival and everyone who wasn't, and the land and all the unseen coming through. I'll leave it there. Love.